All right, folks, last series for the course. This time it's on the reproductive system. We'll start our discussion by talking about the male reproductive system. The purpose of both reproductive systems is obviously to reproduce. If you remember back to our cell chapter, we discussed how cells divide, cellular mitosis. And during that process, cells split up into two identical pairs, both of which have a complete set of chromosomes. Cellular meiosis is a similar process, except these cells only have half of the chromosome required. These cells would be sperm cells and eggs, which meet up and share their genetic material, creating a complete and unique set of chromosomes. Cellular meiosis is how we pass genetic traits onto our offspring, and why you may inherit your father's eyes but your mother's hair. The cells that are used in reproduction are called gametes. Males have sperm cells and females have ovum. And these fuse together in that process of meiosis to make a zygote, the first cell of a new baby. So from the male perspective, our reproductive organ is the penis and the testicles. The whole purpose of this set of organs is to create sperm and then get it into the female ovum. We'll start by talking about that gross anatomy, and then we'll move into the production of sperm, or spermatogenesis. So the penis is an organ that has three types of tissues inside of it. We've got the corpus spongiosum in the middle, and the corpus cavernosa on the sides. The cavernosa is filled with these blood vessels, which can become filled with blood, and then that causes the penis to get hard and erect. Whereas the spongiosum is this stiffer tube-like structure that allows sperm to pass through, even when the cavernosa is full of blood. Moving down to the testes, which are two egg-like structures covered in a skin called the scrotum, each testicle is lined with a network of cremaster muscles, which help move the testicles around closer or further away from the body, depending on what temperature they need to be. The testes need to be kept at a certain temperature for sperm to survive. Inside the testes are a network of tubes called seminiferous tubules, and these are all separated into lobules. Lining the seminiferous tubules are germ cells, which are used to make the sperm. So sperm is created again in these seminiferous tubules, and it travels through a network of tubes and ducts until it makes it to the epididymis, starting at the head of the epididymis and then moving around to the tail, just a long tube, where finally it leaves the testicle in a tube called the vas deferens. From there, the vas deferens moves up into the pelvis cavity, around the bladder, where it meets up with the prostate gland. So we talked about the prostate gland in the last set of videos on the kidney and the ureters. So you got your prostate. Below that is another small gland called the Cowper's gland. So both of these glands have similar functions. They produce fluids that are going to mix with the sperm, and that's going to create semen. The prostate fluid acts as a nutrient or fuel for the sperm, and the Cowper gland helps lubricate the urethra and neutralize any acids that might accidentally kill the sperm. All right, that was a lot. So let's take a break from that, and let's talk more about how we make sperm, or spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis is the creation of sperm cells, and it takes place in those seminiferous tubules. Germ cells divide and create spermatogonia, and these are cells that have 46 chromosomes, just like a normal cell. These cells divide using cellular meiosis, just like any normal cell, only this time they become larger, called primary spermatocytes. These primary spermatocytes then go through cellular meiosis, so they split into two cells that only have half the chromosomes, so 23 chromosomes. And these are called secondary spermatocytes. Finally, these secondary spermatocytes mature, become spermatids, and eventually form fully formed sperm cells. All right, we'll circle back again. So if we're going to track sperm cells from beginning to end, it's going to look kind of like this. Spermatogenesis takes place in those seminiferous tubules, and that creates the sperm. Sperm travels down the tubules, going to the epididymis. Remember, it starts at the head, goes around, and works its way to the tail. It leaves the tail, travels up the vas deferens, where it meets the prostate and Cowper's gland. Fluid from those glands mix with the sperm, we get semen, and then it passes out through your urethra or your corpus spongiosum.